Hello everyone, today I've got a really quick, simple card tutorial for you. You've already seen at the beginning of the video the card that we're making today, and here are the ingredients we're using, except for the sewing machine. That's a little big to fit on this desk. What we're using here as our base is just a quarter of a sheet of red A4 cardstock, and I've just trimmed it into 4 pieces, folded it in half. The white cardstock, I'll admit, I didn't measure it. I've just cut a piece that looks like it's roughly got a nice even border all the way around. I'm using an Amy Tan stamp set that I picked up on clearance at Spotlight. I'm using the Sweet Stamp Shop Just the Basics greeting set, 2 different types of washi tape, stays on ink. Let's get started. I'm going to just put this to the side because we're working on this. The washi tape is another eyeballing one. This is kind of a candy cane one. This came in a pack of 4 from Kmart. It was really cheap. And we're going to pop a piece of this. It doesn't matter how it lines up on this side. What matters is how it lines up on the bottom edge. There needs to be an even border. It needs to run perfectly parallel. If there's any overlap, we'll just trim that off at the end. The next one I've got is a cute little musical note. If you're using music notes, see if you can have a look and find a treble clef at the beginning, and that way you'll know which way it's supposed to be up. I'm going to tear this just a little shorter than the red. I'm going to lay it on the top, exactly across the top. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim off the excess, and boom, that's done. Today I'm working with Stays On ink. I'm not doing any colouring, so I'm using a black Stays On, but you can of course use your own. These Amy Tan stamps are acrylic, so they don't ink up very well with water-based inks, but the Stays On inks up really, really, really well. I've only used this one a few times, but it's already inking up well with the Stays On. So I'm going to stamp that. Oops, I've just taken some off on my fingers. Be organised, people. It helps. Okay, so I'm going to stamp the feather up the top. Cool. And what I've done with the greetings is I've actually mounted 3 different pieces onto the one block. I'm going to stamp I Miss You just across the top of the red. Cool. And then I've got the word yep, which I'm going to put up a little higher. Oops, I've stuttered it just a tiny bit. That's no good. The last little stamp is a little dot that comes in the set, so I'm just going to give it a little dot, dot, dot. That can be a little bit tricky to line up, but near enough for this is good enough. I've just decided at the last minute I'm going to add a few little sequins. They just bling it right up. I don't know, I guess I've become a little bit addicted to sequins lately. Just going to put a little bit of the Tombow Mono adhesive on the back and just randomly add them to the card. They don't take too long to dry, which is really good, and they just give it a little bit of bit of shine without being too over the top. You could also use enamel dots, whole bunch of different things. I've made sure not to put them where I'm going to put my machine stitching, because we don't want to stitch over sequins. It doesn't usually end very well. Okay, so I've got my adhesive on the back of my card already. I haven't put adhesive where I'm going to sew on the machine, just because sewing machine needles and adhesives, they don't get along very well. If you've ever tried to sew a sequined fabric, you'll know that. So you just center it on the front. I always like to eyeball it. You can measure if you want to. And the last step is just to take this over to the sewing machine and put on, literally I just went down, back and down, down, back and down on this one as well. I did get a little bit close to the edge. So let's move over to the sewing machine. Okay, so this might get a little bit loud, but this is just a regular sewing machine. I haven't got a special needle in it or anything. It's just my regular needle. I sew a lot, so I do change my needles a lot. If you don't sew very much and you're worried about it, just get yourself a different needle for paper that you just use for paper. So literally going to put the machine down. I'm not back stitching to start. Just sew across, bit reverse, head back. And then forward again. Doesn't matter if it's uneven. In fact, the crazier it looks, the better. And then we're going to repeat that up here in the top corner. I tend to hold the thread as I start, just stops it from getting away from me and whipping down into the bobbin case. That's it. Boom. Sewing's done. So let's go back, trim this up, finish it off. So here we are with the finished card. Just going to trim off those threads on the front and on the back. If you don't like how messy this looks inside the card, you can always just get a piece of printer paper and cover over that. So keeping in mind that when the card is opened, that's going to be in the top. It's not going to interfere with your writing, but you might want to put some white paper in there just in case if you prefer a neater card. Or you could, of course, double mat this and stitch it before you put it onto the final card. So there we go, a really simple little note card. You could make up a whole lot of these at once with different greetings, and then you are set for any occasion when you need it. So are you going to have a go at this? Going to bust out the sewing machine, the washi tape, the sequins, get out stamps, random stamps. They work with this design so well. Get out your favourite greetings and have a go. If you do have a go, I would love to see a photo. You can find links to all my social media on www.dawnlewis.com.au, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of thing. So come on over, show me what you've made. I would really love to see it. If you're looking for sequins, I do have them in the shop, just little bags so that you don't have to buy these great big enormous bags, because when you buy a lot, they actually add up quite quickly, even though they're only $3 a bag. Yeah, when you want 20 colours, that's kind of a lot of money to pay. So I've busted these down into little small bags that aren't going to take up heaps of space in your stash. So find them over in the shop. Thanks for watching. Show me your goods. Happy card making, everyone.